Let's examine what operations we can perform on the components within the View Plus library. First, let's create a macro channel and assign the label we will create under this macro channel to the components. On the left side of the editor, you can select any component from the components and drag it onto the page screen. When we click on the component, we can bring the desired properties by adjusting the object properties, labels, and other settings under it on the right side of the editor. The limits parameter restricts the range between the values you enter from the keyboard. After selecting the Set Allowed Range option, you specify the minimum and maximum value range. A different number cannot be entered from the keyboard outside of the specified value range. Let's add a component to demonstrate this feature. For the event type, select Key Press, and for the event action, select Load Value. Similarly, we need to select the macro label we created as the target event label. By checking the Set Allowed Range option, let's leave our minimum and maximum points between 0 and 100. The tooltip feature allows you to see the expression you write within the text when you hover over the component with the mouse. You can also change the font size and color of the text. The macro feature can be likened to the tag properties in the SCADA macro channel. Here, the macro defined only works on the component. As seen on the Labels option, options such as I2, O2, S2, W2 are visible. We will use these visible options within the macro. For example, when we come to the label in the third section, we can see their values as expressions like I3, O3. The I parameter specifies the raw value of the read field. So, you directly see the information you read from the field. The O parameter shows the expression you want to display on the client screen after passing through label macro operations. The S parameter is the value set by the user for the label. The W parameter is the value the user wants to set in the field. The difference between W and O is that O only shows on the screen, whereas with W, you both show on the screen and write to the device in the field. The Images feature displays the graphics of the index according to the label value received by the component. These graphics are displayed on the screen. Let's start the server and examine the operations we performed on these components on the client. In the first component, we use the limit feature to set the minimum and maximum range between 0 and 100. We see that we can enter any number between 0 and 100 without any problems, but we cannot enter a number greater than 100. It allows us to enter our largest number as 99. In the second component, we use the tooltip feature. We entered the expression numbers in the text. When we hover over the component with the mouse, we see that it writes numbers. In the third component, we use the images feature. Depending on the value of the other label, it displays the corresponding index graph on the screen. Since we placed the label in the properties of the label from the properties, let's change the I2 and O2 parts to I1 and O1 and restart the server. In the macro feature, we had written to show the value of the received label increased by 3 on the screen. Currently, it displays 0 as 3 on the screen. Let's enter 2 as the value, and we see that it becomes 5.